All right, this is the FSA ELA review for 7th and 8th grade. We have our reading comprehension portion of the FSA coming up, so we are going to review that. And let's first start talking about dates. The 7th grade FSA test dates are April 18th and 19th. That's next week. 8th grade is April 25th and 26th. Okay, it's right around the corner. There are 2 days of testing. You want to arrive at 12:30. The test starts at 1. It's 85 minutes long. It's computer-based testing. Bring your Chromebook charged. You may use it, you may not, but still bring your Chromebook just in case. Bring your headphones. You will definitely need your headphones. Okay, there is some audio portion where you'll want to have your own headphones. We will have some that you can borrow, but you'll be much more comfortable if you have your own headphones. And then I want you to bring a book to read once you're finished. You do have that full 85 minutes though, so it's best to use that, but in case you finish early, you can bring a book to read. Okay, let's do a sound check. I see on the chat that some people can't hear. Give me a smiley face if you can hear me okay. Okay, good. Sounds like most of you can hear. Awesome. Okay. So any questions on the dates or the times? Again, 7th grade, April 18th and 19th. You want to arrive at 12:30. The test is going to start at 1. And 8th grade, April 25th and 26th. Same time, arriving at 12:30. Test starts at 1. Okay, I'll get confirmation about the book. It is after an allotted amount of time, guys. Okay, but what I want you to focus on is the test itself, right? And make sure that you bring your headphones. I'm just putting a message into a student who can't hear me right now. So give me just a minute. And remember, this recording will be available later on today on the PACE chart, okay? So dates, everybody's clear on dates. You also have your math tests, my 7th graders, next week, so take a look at that too. Okay, so let's talk about the practice website. It's the same website that they had for the FSA writing, okay? But I strongly recommend and encourage you to take the computer practice test. It's a sample. It won't take you that long, but it will make you really comfortable with what the test will look like. And that's what I want you to focus on, is practicing, looking at the way that it's set up on the computer, reading the text on the computer, and answering the questions. So this week in language arts, you only have a couple assignments due. I'd like you to take some time, maybe after we get done with this live lesson, and go on to the practice website, okay, and take an FSA practice test. There's one for math and there's one for ELA. It'd be awesome if you took both of those, okay? Has anyone taken the practice test yet? Sophia, we'll talk about that at the end, okay? Okay, so I want you to do that. Everybody needs to do the FSA assessments today or tomorrow, sometime this week. Okay. So now let's talk about the types of questions. And I'm going to turn off the chat for a few minutes on this just so we can be clear and everybody's focusing. Okay, so the types of questions. We have different types of questions. You will have fiction and nonfiction. You can have some poetry. You'll have different text. And then there will be different types of questions. So some of the questions that you'll get are multiple choice. You should be pretty familiar with multiple choice. And then multi-select is more than one answer should be chosen. So on a multi-select type one, and we'll go over this as an example, it will say choose two things to answer this question, okay? Two-part questions, two questions pertaining to the same topic. You'll pick a choice for part A, and then part B, you'll explain that choice, usually in a multiple choice type situation. Open response or short answer. The open response is 1 to 3 sentences, just enough to answer the question and support it from the text. Okay? So 1 to 3 sentences you'll be typing in, and you'll need to use that text-based evidence for the open responses. And then highlight the text. Highlight the sentences from the text. So that's super important that you go through and they'll ask you to highlight certain things. It could be evidence, it could be grammar, vocabulary, and you'll use the computer and you'll highlight. Graphics, interacting with the text. So we went over graphics in the last module. That could be a map, that could be a chart, a picture. Remember, if there are any graphics that go along with the text, there's a reason why they're there. So it's important that you look at those and use those to help you. Okay? And then audio. Again, this is why we bring our headphones. We listen to a text being read. It can be a poem, it can be fiction, it can be nonfiction, but you'll need to plug into the computer and listen to it. And there might be questions based on what you listen to. And then the editing is selecting the proper grammar, verb, or vocabulary. Okay? So that's where you are asked to perhaps do the proper word choice or verb or vocabulary. So let's look at some of those that are a little bit different from what we normally do, like the multi-select. Now, again, we haven't read the text that goes along with it, but imagine that we're taking the test and we're reading a text, and then we come to a question, and the question reads, select 2 ways that the interactions with other characters support the development of the narrator's character. And then you have 4 different choices, but you are looking for that 2 ways. So if you just do 1, you don't get credit. You need 2 ways. So choice A, Cassie encourages her to hurry, and that eases the narrator's fears. Cassie expresses her feeling that the ocean is beautiful, and the narrator realizes she is right. The narrator's father encourages her to go beyond her comfort zone, and at the end she does. Going to the ocean with her family as a child makes the narrator feel assured about exploring new places. And you want to pick 2 of these to get the answer correct. Now, of course, we haven't read the text, but you would imagine and pick out 2 of those. Okay, so that's your multi-select. The next one is the open response. So you read a paragraph and then you answer the question. What is the main idea in paragraph 3? And the directions will tell you, type your answer in the space provided. So the main idea in paragraph, that should say 3, is that, and then you put your answer. Please remember to restate the question in your answer. So the question is asking me, what is the main idea in paragraph 3? So I start off my answer with, the main idea in paragraph 3 is that, and then I put the rest of the main idea. And you want to type your answer in the space provided. There's not any spell check on this, so make sure that you're spelling things correctly. You want to do proper capitalization and punctuation too. Really important that you do all of that. Okay, so those are the open response. You're typing a couple of sentences to answer the question. The next part, and this is the part we were talking about earlier, this is your 2-part multiple choice. So you're reading a passage and then you're answering questions. Part A, what are the 2 central ideas of passage 2? And then you have choices, A, B, and C. And then part B, How does the author develop the central ideas in Part A? So you can see that Part A and Part B relate to each other because it's a two-part multiple choice. So you need to answer A, and then based on the answer that you had for A, you do B. This isn't difficult, guys. You can handle this. I just want you to take your time and do your best and refer back to the passage. So on every part that you're doing, it's important that you refer back to the passage on it because that's where you'll find the answers. All right, let's see if there's any questions on those two that I just went over. I'll turn on the chat. Any questions on open responses or two-part multiple choice? Give me a thumbs up if you're good with that. If you have a question, you can ask now or you can wait till the end to ask your question. Joey, I'm not sure what you mean with can we go back to the list of options. You can scroll back and forth in the test, right? And you can check your answers. So even though you've passed, say you're on number 5, you can go back and look at your answer for number 1. And you can scroll back and forth between the different texts. That's why it's really important that you guys go to that test website and that you practice so you're familiar with it. So I really, really want you to go to that website with the slides. Let me see, Joey, is this what you mean? The types of questions, Joey? Okay. We're still going to go over some of the other types of questions. So I went to about here. And I wanted to check to see if anybody had any other questions. So do you have any questions on multiple choice, multi-select, two-part questions, or open responses? And remember, the recording will be available. How do you highlight? Jack, it's how you highlight on the test on the Chromebook. So what I need you to do is take the practice test. Okay, it's just highlighting like you do on your Chromebook, but I want you to go in and take the practice test because that will help you. Okay, open response. So let's review open response. Open response, it's another way of saying short answer. It's very similar to what you do on your module exams, where you have a question and you need to type the answer. Okay, so you're writing, it's an open-ended question, like what is the main idea in the paragraph, and then you're typing your answer. Jack, that's why you need to take the sample quiz. Go and do the practice one because it'll explain on how to do it for the FSA. Okay, Joey, does that help you with the open response? It's where you're typing in a couple sentence answer. And Kira, that's okay. If that works for you, that's fine. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to go over is the editing portion. So another type of question is editing. So in the editing, this is where you check your spelling and grammar and all of that good stuff. So her parents were anthropologists. Blank, various cultures throughout the world was their mission. Every few years, the family moved for one of their great adventures. The only regularly scheduled ship visited Palmerston twice a year to pick up fish and drop off supplies. Her family blank will be stuck there for at least 6 months, and her parents plan to make it a year. Okay. So you'll notice that I read through it first with the blanks, so I can get an idea of the flow of the paragraph. And now I'm going to go back at the first one. Her parents were anthropologists. Blank, various cultures throughout the world was their mission. So let's actually turn on the chat back for this. What would be the right answer? Her parents were anthropologists. Blank, various cultures throughout the world. B, correct. Studying various cultures throughout the world was their mission. Her family blank be stuck there for at least 6 months and her parents plan to make it a year. Would, is going to, is to, or will. What would the correct answer for the last one be? So what I would do is I would substitute. Her family would be stuck there for at least 6 months, and her parents plan to make it a year. Okay, so it's future tense. Her family will. Kira, good job. Okay. But you have to substitute, and you can see that it came down to probably would or will, but then you have to look and see the tenses of it. So that's when it comes to editing, that's what you want to do for editing. You're filling in the blank, and the best thing that you want to do is do substitution and figure out which one works the best. Okay, and I know a couple people came in late, and that's fine. The recording of this will be available on the pace chart. So the next one, the next different type is audio, and this is why it's really important that you bring your headphones, okay? Because you will listen to an audio, or you could in some part of the FSA, and it says select two advantages of using audio in passage 1 to present information about CFLs. And then the answers explain why they would do audio. Does it to connect with other people, rely on tone of voice, interpret the conversational nature, distinguish between viewpoints, or is it emotional and personal appeal? And it really depends on what the text and what you're listening to. But the audio, when you do audio, if you have an audio question, you will need to listen to something and answer the question about how it pertains to the audio version. Okay? And I think as virtual students, you really have an advantage because you're on the computer all the time and you listen to audio versions within the module. So I think that this is something that's normal to you guys. It's not anything that's different from what you normally do. Okay? I'm confident that you guys will do well on this. I just want you to take your time and do your best and practice. Definitely do the practice test. And another form of question you could get is graphics, okay? And this could be a map. This could be a graph, a chart. If you come across some sort of graphic in any of the texts that you read on the FSA, be it math or ELA, I want you to make sure that you look at that because they put it there for a reason. So this question asks, how does the diagram in passage 3 distinguish between the different types of light bulbs? So you want to take a look at that and see how it distinguishes. And you have to look at the diagram and use the text in order to answer that. And then highlight. The question will ask you to select details from the passage or highlight text to support your response. And it's within the FSA website. So again, going to the website is your best bet. And I did go on it this morning, and it's very user-friendly, very easy. You can take the computer sample practice test for 7th grade or for 8th grade, and they'll give you the choices. Okay, so let's review. Test dates, 7th grade, April 18th and 19th. 8th grade, April 25th and 26th. You want to arrive at 12:30. The test starts at 1. You want to bring headphones, bring a book, and you want to make sure that you practice. Okay? This is a lot of what we do in language arts all the time, but this part is the reading comprehension. Okay? What questions do we have? What questions do you have? If you don't have any questions, guys, Kira, you're funny. If you want credit, go ahead and fill out the Google form. So the Google form is there. Fill that out to get credit for attending. And the review will be available probably this afternoon or this evening on the pace chart. No, you can't use your tablet. That's a good question, Henry. Thank you.